Hi, my name is Rae Minten and I have the pleasure of teaching yoga for the Orange City Area Health System. In our Lemons to Lemonade series, we're going to offer a segment here of beginning yoga. So yoga is a Sanskrit term that translates to union or bringing together. And what we want to bring together is our body, our mind, and our breath for a practice of better living. In my practices, I like to offer a theme for the mind to focus on. And during this interesting time, the theme for these classes is going to be challenge. So challenge is a general term referring to things that involve a sense of difficulty, yet victory. It tests one's abilities of resilience in demanding yet stimulating undertakings. So with that thought, we're going to begin this practice by coming down onto our mats. The yoga mat or the sticky mat is just a nice place to kind of set your environment up. Gives you a space just to be a little private. So find yourself seated and then slowly lower the body down. When you bring your body down to the floor, step the feet in so the heels are coming to your hips, and then walk those heels out just a little bit so the knees can dip in. Focusing on our breath, let the hands lie on your belly and just take a couple moments to set aside anything it took to get here, anything that you know you have during your day, and just watch your breath as it moves by the hands. The inhales will float your belly up, and the exhales will soften your belly down. This awareness of your breath can be very calming and grounding, giving you a sense of stability and strength, reminding you that everything you need is always within you. Remember, you don't need to be an enlightened sage or a human pretzel to practice yoga. You just need to have a willingness to learn and a sense of curiosity, watching the body and its partnership with your breath. Once you sense the rhythm of your breath, go ahead and stretch your legs out. Take your fingers, interlace them, and reach them up and over your head so you can give yourself a full body stretch, starting to feel fresh. Taking that breath into every little nook and cranny, feeling the places that are tender or tight, but also the places that are supple and free. As you exhale, you're going to slowly draw in your right knee. Wrapping around the shin, you draw that knee in. We're going to go into a little supine twist. So opening the right arm to the side, take another breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to coax that right knee to your left side. Now the gaze and the head can look a little to the right. That's a nice little counterbalance. And you once again find that sweet breath. Inhales, noticing now how that breath might shift with a little bit of twist and rotation. We'll take another inhale. Because the exhales give us the power to slowly roll ourselves back to center, we give that right knee its little hug, and we send that leg back and down to our yoga mat. Now the left knee, it comes up and in, and here's that little wrap around the shin, giving it its hug in. We open the left arm to the side, keeping that shoulder nice and heavy. As you exhale, here we go, taking it to the other side, coaxing the left knee over. The gaze and the head can start to look to your left, just adding that sweet little counterbalance, feeling your breath. The body is very different side to side, so please avoid criticizing if one side feels more challenging, less comfortable. Just be curious about those sensations. We'll take our deep inhale. And once again, utilizing that exhale to bring us to center, we give the left knee a hug in, and we bring the right knee to meet it. And then we give a little rock just through the low back, massaging. We're going to find ourselves coming up to a kneeling position. So tuck your chin and give yourself just a little rock up and down the spine so you can roll, cross over the legs, and come onto your hands and knees. Now as you come onto your hands and knees, open your fingers as wide as possible. Find a little softness in the elbows so they turn back, so the elbow creases are looking forward. The knees are underneath the hips and the toes have a little tuck. We're starting to move the spine with the breath. So as you inhale, curl your tail up, bring your heart forward and gently lift your gaze. This is a happy dog. As you exhale, you're going to tuck the tail and the chin and round through your spine. This is a mad alley cat. The inhale is what opens the front body, and the exhale is what stretches and lengthens the back body. When we move through this breath, we think of extension. That's your opening, as well as flexion. That's your closing. We're going to do just 2 more like that. Stimulating the spine, moving your breath with the body. 1 more deep inhale. Happy dog. Exhale, round, mad alley cat. Now come to a nice flat back. We're going to do a little bit of lengthening for the legs and the hips. So that right leg, toes still have a tuck. We stretch that leg back and then we press a little more through the heel. Just feeling that opening to your foot, the calf, the back of the leg. The belly is strong, so you have support here. We're going to take those toes and just swing them over to the left. Now as we do that, go ahead and look over the left shoulder and see if you can find that right big toe, feeling just a little more opening through your ribs and that right hip. If the hands feel comfortable, it's good for your wrists, you can add to this and bring in a twist. That left arm floats, challenging your balance, but smile at that. We find our balance rather than lose it. We lose our keys. We're going to take another inhale. And as you exhale, that left hand comes to the mat. We swing that right knee around and it anchors as well. We're going to do a little opening for the shoulder. So take an inhale. Now the right arm is going to reach up. We're going to take that right arm and thread it through the body. This is called eye of the needle as we soften the head and the shoulder to the floor. So now we're twisting through the upper body rather than the lower. If you feel like you could use just a little bonus stretch and the head and neck feel comfortable, you can take your left leg, but it would reach to the side rather than behind you, just to roll a little extra weight onto that shoulder, opening the back side of your heart, feeling a little space on those ribs. Nice deep inhale. If you took the kickstand to the left side, please tuck that knee in. Then inhale, up we reach. We sweep, finding that right arm to the ceiling, and then it makes its way back down to the floor. Here's the other side. We take the left leg, we stretch it back. We put just a little extra press, opening the foot, the calf, the back of this leg. We breathe. Shoulders are relaxed, belly is strong. And then we're going to swing and bring those left toes to the right. Here's where we look back over the right shoulder, finding that right big toe. Seeing what's happening in the body, how similar the sides are, how unique and different. Remember, if you feel like your hands are strong, wrists are comfortable, then you can add that bonus twist, allowing the right arm to lift. Here's the in-breath. And exhale, we bring this hand back to the floor, we swing that left knee behind us, and it relaxes. Threading the eye of the needle. Weight is in right hand. Inhale, left arm now gets to reach up. As you exhale, we're going to thread it through. Slipping the shoulder and the head to the floor. If this feels like plenty, stay here. Feel like your neck is relaxed. Feel like you've got a little more space for that shoulder to open. Then the right leg is out to the side. It's a kickstand. If you feel pressure go into head and neck, then this is not a benefit. You're going to tuck that right knee back. Here's your inhale. Exhale, the knee comes to the mat. We take a big breath in. Here's we sweep up again, opening the chest. And then exhale, the hand comes to the mat. One of the most iconic and classic poses in our yoga practice is downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So the hands, you're going to step them forward just a little bit, and then they're going to be a little wider than your shoulders. Once again, the elbows want to be soft, creases forward like the fingertips. Those toes are in a tuck. The shoulders are back. We take an inhale and up we lift the hips to press back. Now you can take that dog for a little walk, pedaling through the heels. Dogs find this pose because it's invigorating. to their spine, to their limbs. I know those toes are seductive. See if you can let the gaze go through the knees so you can really free up your neck. And then find a place where the heels are heavy. They don't need to touch. If it's a lot of stretch on the legs, then put a bend in your knees. The more the heels come down, it's just a result of the legs and the hips opening up. We're getting some space through the ribs, finding a lot of breath in the arms, taking our inhale and exhale, just feeling steady, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. We're going to take it for a little fold. So soften the knees. And as you exhale, walk the hands back towards your feet. If you found that your feet were really wide, go ahead and bring them about hip distance. And then go ahead and soften the knees so that we're actually stretching our backs rather than hanging off of it. We're going to give the hip a little stretch. So from our forward fold Uttanasana, let's bring the right hand to the mat. Inhale, straighten the left leg only, and then take that left arm up. If you feel a lot of stretch in this left hip, you can make a soft fist and gently tap into it, but tap so that the muscle bounces off the bone rather than you beating that muscle into submission. Nice. Inhale here. Exhale, soften both knees so the left hand makes its way to the floor. We go to the other side. Both knees are deeply bent. Then the inhale straightens just your right leg. The right arm comes up. Let the head hang a little bit. Once again, if you notice that there is a lot of stretch in this hip, you can gently tap it. It's stimulating for the muscle, relaxes the nervous system, just allows the tissue to soften. Take an inhale if you were tapping. Exhale, you're going to drop that right hand to the mat. And then with our inhale, we're going to take a nice slow roll up to standing. We got a lot of blood into the head. We want to make sure that we don't get dizzy as we stand. And then you're going to make your way to the center of your mat. I'd like you to find a foundational pose called Tadasana. So this is mountain. It's where you're strong and steady, stable. There's a lift to the toes and the kneecaps. There's a lift to your belly, your collarbone, the crown of the head, but the shoulders, we want them to roll back. Notice if your fingertips are touching the thighs. If it is, that's fine. We're going to do a little shoulder shrugging. Take an inhale, shoulders go to the ears. Now pause with your breath. Shrug those shoulders back. Now as you exhale, let those shoulders roll down your ribs. Let's do 2 more of that. Inhale, shoulders shrug up. Then a little pause to the breath to shrug shoulders back. And then exhale, we let those shoulders soften down. 1 more like that. Deep inhale lifts the shoulders. We hug the shoulders back, and then they rest. Now the arms are along our sides. We can feel strong, steady, stable. We're going to free up our neck. So in Tadasana, the mountain, reach your right arm out to the side. Notice how the thumb is down. We're going to bring that arm behind us so that it's wrapping in the back. And then that left hand, you're just going to link your fingers, and the left elbow wants to poke itself back. Once we get this, we've stabilized the right arm, we're going to take an inhale. And we're going to drop our head to the left, just letting the head go, using its weight. Still feel strong and steady in the body, even though your gaze is starting to shift. Take another in-breath. Exhale, we're going to dip the chin just a little bit, adding that rotation to the chest. Notice how changing the angle of the head can change your stretch. Take another inhale. And exhale, we're going to drop the chin once again. Maybe you're starting to look down that left side. If you find that you have the perfect stretch, you stay there. No need to explore any further. But otherwise, if you feel like you just want to go 1 more notch, you take the chin, drop it again, add a little extra turn. Now you're going to be seeing all the way down that left side seam. Here's your breath coming in. As you exhale, you free the arms so they're by your sides and you roll the chin to the chest. Give the head just a little shake, side to side. Now, we just opened up the neck. Let's let the neck stay relaxed. Fingertips to forehead. And as you inhale, hands lift the head so the neck stays relaxed. Finding Tadasana, getting into your foundation pose, the left arm out to the side. Notice how the thumb is down. Once again, we're going to loop it behind our back so that it's in the low back. And then remember, the right fingertips, we're going to lace them so the elbow pokes itself back. Once we find this lock, we take that in-breath, and now we drop our head over to the right side. Breath is in, feeling the space that you create. In times that are challenging, there are muscles on the neck that like to pull the shoulders up, can bring a sense of bursting energy, but also a little sense of apprehension or anxiety. So we want to free up that neck. Take another inhale. Exhale, here we start. The dip and the spin, dropping the chin, maybe a ½ inch. Feeling how the weight of the head is now our benefit as we want to reach into this stretch. Inhale. Remember, you can add another little dip and a spin. If you find your ideal spot, stay there. Breathe into it. No need to rush. Inhale here. And exhale, we dip once again. Now you'll probably be seeing down that right side seam. Take another breath in. As you exhale, free up the arms. Let your chin roll to your chest and shake the head just a little bit side to side. Fingertips once again are on the forehead because hands want to do the lifting. And you come back to that mountain pose. Nice. We're going to go into some foundational standing poses. So we have Tadasana. That's where we begin. We're going to turn to the short edge of your mat. It's going to give you room to reach back. Just make sure there's nothing behind you. You don't have a cat or a kid or a book, because those things can come into play. We get started nice and steady, top of the mat. Find a place for your gaze to rest, something that's still, something that'll be reliable. We're going to fill the left leg with all of its weight, and then we're going to take an inhale to pick the right knee up. We're going to take a little step back, dropping the toes and then the heel to the mat. Now make sure that your hips are forward. You might like to take the front foot, just broaden it out a little to the side because you want those hips nice and level. The back leg is going to help bring that right hip forward. The left heel is going to bring the left hip back. So we're squaring those hips. Now if you find that your knee is dipping all the way past the toes, then inchworm those toes forward. We're going to give ourselves a little boulder stance. This is Virabhadrasana 1 or the warrior. Once you feel like the legs are stable, then the hands come to the heart. And you're just going to take a few breaths, noticing there's opening to that leg that's reaching behind you, that right hip flexor. There's strength and endurance building in that front, stable left leg. Allow yourself to smile, just be curious, noticing how the body feels. Virabhadrasana 1, the warrior, one of our foundational poses. We're going to go into a pose that's going to open the legs a little more, but requires quite a bit of core strength. So take an inhale and you're going to straighten the front leg. Still keeping the hips pointing forward and that heel space even. We're going to bring the hands from their prayer into a prayer behind us. So the hands, either the fingertips can point down to the earth or you can flip them so they can point up to the heavens. We're going to press a little more into that back heel. Here's your inhale, spine is long, and we're just going to hinge at the hips and come forward. If you feel, woo, that's my stretch, then you're in your pose. If you feel like you can hinge a little further, the ultimate is when you are parallel or close to parallel to your floor. The gaze is down at that front big toe, encouraging that left hip to come back. This is pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. If you feel a lot of stretch in that front leg, then bend that front knee just a little bit. We don't want to over lengthen that tissue. We just want to encourage it. You'll notice with your breath that your body starts to relax. You start to soften into the shape you're creating. We're going to find a very dynamic pose, but yet foundational to our practice because we love a challenge. We're going to open those arms out. We'll take the right hand and fingerprints go by your left big toe, and then we're going to turn the chest to our left, letting that left arm come up. This is a twisting triangle, Parivrtta Trikonasana, very challenging for balance. You might feel it in your hip, your ribs, maybe as those shoulder blades shrug together, a little back bend. See if you can still smile and breathe. If you can't do both of those things at once, then you're working too hard. Let yourself enjoy your practice. Take another inhale. We're going to bring that left hand to the hip. We're going to rotate the hips down. The right hand comes to the right hip, so we've got the strength to inhale and bring ourselves up. Nice. From this pose, we bring our hands to our heart, soft bend in that left knee, so we can step the right foot up to meet it. Find Tadasana. Just notice your experience. How does it feel on that side? Then we're going to go to the other. We're going to put all the weight into our right leg. Inhale. Here is the left knee up, so we can take a little step back. Remember, we want the hips forward, so we often want to broaden the front foot to the side just a little bit. Get that left heel to press the left hip forward. Get that right heel to coax the right hip back. Now we're strong. Toes are over the front, or knee is over the front toes, inching those toes forward. Virabhadrasana 1, hands are at the heart. Once again, settle into your strength. I know when the feet are stepped apart, sometimes we want to stretch them apart. I want you to snug them in so you can feel the energy giving you a lift. That's what gives you your strength. Just a couple more breaths, feeling steady, being curious, noticing what happens in this powerful pose of the warrior. Next, we're going to take our transition to our pyramid. So the hands go back, reverse prayer to the earth or up to the heavens. If that wasn't familiar to you, here's to the earth, here's to the heavens. We've got our feet still hip distance. Remember, we're going to hinge at the hips, so take that inhale. Starting to shift. Ooh, there's my stretch. Why is it not deeper on this side? We're just curious. Maybe it's an injury. Maybe you are just stronger on this side. Maybe you're getting tired. Maybe you're feeling cautious. Just be curious if you can continue to hinge. Remember, we only want to go about halfway down, spine parallel to the floor. Press through that left heel a little more to bring that left hip forward, and then press into that right big toe to bring the right hip back. Here's our pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Notice all the strength that you need in your core. Remember, right leg, way too much stretch, soften that knee. It will continue to lengthen. Going into our twisting triangle, inhale, open up your arms. Place fingerprints of left hand by right big toe, and here we go, twisting to our right. Your gaze could still be at the big toe if that gives you more stability. Stacking ears if you feel like that lets you have a longer neck, or looking up to the heavens. Nice, we take another big breath. Exhale, we bring the right hand to the hips so we can square the hips. Left hand comes up to meet the hips. Big, powerful breath in to bring us up to vertical. There's your core strengthening. Put a little bend in the front knee. Let's step ourselves forward. Find Tadasana. Here is our mountain pose. We're going to bring ourselves down to the mat. We're going to do a little bit of opening from our belly, so going into back bends. So with that, just take a little walk back. When you get to the back edge of your mat, bring your hands to your heart, take an inhale, and then exhale, slowly start to roll yourself forward. You can soften the knees. We're going to walk the hands out. And you're going to find yourself in a plank position, super strengthening. When we look at a more demanding practice of our vinyasa through sun salutations, plank is our base. We're strong through the ribs, we're strong through the belly, we're powerful through those legs. You're like, I cannot hover here for very long. Then soften your knees, be kind. Treat yourself like your best friend, right? You won't ask yourself to do too much then. If you're floating up in this plank position, just take another breath. Remember, knees on the floor. You can do that intermittently just to let yourself soften. We don't want gripping through the neck or the jaw. Gaze is gently in front of the fingertips rather than looking up or letting the head hang. This is powerful work. We're going to lower ourselves down to the floor. Meet the challenge. So you can soften your knees and then bring yourself down, or you can let the legs be long and let the hands kind of hug the ribs. We're coming to the floor. If you feel like you don't have enough mat and your nose is going to be digging into the carpet or somewhere, you can shimmy back. But I want you to bring your hands back so that your hands are about the level of your mid-chest, or if you gals know where a bra band is. Elbows are back, and then bring the big toes together, toenail sides down, ideally. We're going into what's called Cobra Bhujangasana. Powerful back strength. So see if you can use the arms to draw you forward. So press the toes down, let the knees and the navel lift, and then your hands are going to gently curl you forward. You're going to find yourself just floating off the mat. Neck is relaxed. Remember, I'm not pushing into my arms. I'm letting my back do the work. Take an in-breath. And then exhale, slowly soften. Shimmy out those hips, let the toes meet. Knees are up, navel is up. Inhale, chest is up. Feel how the arms draw you forward, like a snake, the cobra pose. Bhujangasana. Exhale, soften. Shake out those hips. One more time. Big inhale, curling up. You're going to probably feel a little bit of heat. Back bends are all about that, invigorating the heart space. Exhale, let yourself soften. And then open your arms to the side. Just gaze to the right and shake out your hips a little bit. Although it may sound counterintuitive, backs that are tender, backs that are weak, Cobra is a beautiful practice. Gives you all kinds of strength in the back muscles, those straps that keep you upright. We're going to go into a little more challenging float. This is called locust or salambasana. So those big toes, this time they get to float. Chin is back to center. Inhale, the toes both lift up, but you keep them connected. Thumbs are going up and the arms float, and just notice how your body seems to gently lift and fly over the earth. Take a nice big inhale. Feel strong, and then exhale, let it go and look over to your left. Shake out those hips a little bit. Chin's back to center. Toes come together. Inhale, legs lift, thumbs up, arms lift. Feeling that whole body opening. Feel the strength on the back of your legs, the back of your spine, even the neck. Nice smile here. Exhale, let yourself release. Shake it out. Nice. One more time, because 3 is a magic number. First you have to know what's going on, then experience it, and then integrate it. Inhale, toes lift, thumbs lift, so arms can lift. Flying like the locust, salambasana. It's spring. Soon we'll be seeing all kinds of beautiful things coming out. Take an inhale and exhale, release. So we started our practice with a supine twist. We're going to end with a prone. So prone just means from your belly. You're going to take your left arm and reach it forward so your ear can rest, and then just give a little wrap so it's got a pillow. You're going to put a bend in your right knee and then bring that whole thigh and shin to the floor, and it's going to be out like a little chair. And take an inhale, and the right arm gets to reach up, and it's going to reach back behind you. Now keep your knee steady on the floor so you can twist and open through the chest. Feels like it's too much, then bring your fingertips to your shoulder. Otherwise you can reach that arm all the way back. Just kind of wringing your body out like a sponge, letting go of the things that you feel were unnecessary, unpleasant, uncomfortable. Take another big inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to sweep that right arm to the floor. We're going to take it to the other side. Wrapping around the head, taking that reach. Prone twist. Big in-breath. Exhale, slowly bringing that back to the mat. From here, you're going to curl up and back. And I want you to lie on your back. If you feel like the back is tender, go ahead and put the knees up like we started in constructive rest. Let yourself have just a few moments of quiet. And as you let your body rest, I just want to share this little food for thought. Life's challenges are not supposed to paralyze you. They're supposed to help you discover who you are. That's Bernice Johnson Reagan. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.